Taking a picture at the height of the action, or the most telling moment, Cartier-Bresson's decisive moment, has been the objective of photographers ever since wet plates, with their 3 or 4 second exposure times, made outdoor photography practical in the middle of the 19th century. In 1872, Edward Muybridge took that technology and made the world's first photo sequence. It was 16 images of a horse running, taken by 16 cameras arranged along a track, fired in sequence by 16 wires tripped by the horse as it passed. It established that, contrary to the belief of contemporary painters and riders, a running horse does have all 4 legs off the ground during its running cycle. But more importantly, it showed that the camera can see things the human eye cannot. And this is the decisive moment. Muybridge needed 16 cameras, 16 plates and 16 tripwires to make this sequence. We can make a 54,000 frame sequence with just one camera. All we need is a Panasonic GH4 with its 4K video capability and the version 2 firmware upgrade. What makes it worthwhile is that a still taken from the new 4K video is an 8 megapixel image, more than enough for web usage and capable of high quality 12:8 prints. It has always been possible to take stills from video, but the new firmware formalises and facilitates the technique. Here's a rundown on how to do it. If you're in a PAL 50Hz region, you can set the GH4 system frequency to 59.97 for a few extra frames per second if you wish. Don't forget to change it back afterwards though. You must set the camera to creative video, and in the movie menu set 4K photo to on. It will record your video sequence in MP4 format. I'll set the video aspect ratio to 4:3. Before starting, it is important to remember that even though you're in movie mode, the end product is going to be a still. So, set the camera as if you were shooting a still. A horse jumping a fence will appear to be moving naturally at 1/60th of a second in video. In a still, it will simply be blurred. Also, you will find that 4K video soaks up a lot of the camera's processing power, which slows down focusing performance a lot. Best, if practical, to pre-focus. If you must use continuous autofocus, don't expect too much. Let's get shooting. Here I drop a ball into a glass of water. I want to catch an interesting moment as the ball splashes into the glass. It would be impossible to do this alone, since I can't photograph and drop the ball at the same time, and even with someone dropping the ball for me, catching the moment would be very hit and miss. With 4K photo though, just press the shutter button to start shooting and drop the ball into the water. Now press the green review button on the back of the camera and play back the moving sequence. You can change the information overlay by pressing the display button on the right of the camera back. Right, here's the full sequence. Play it again. Should be something I can use there at just after 8 seconds. And press the centre button on screen here. That stops playback at the moment it is pressed. Now I'll step through frame by frame. You can do that by touching these buttons, but although it seems to be undocumented, turning the front or rear control wheels seems to do the same thing and is far more convenient. When you find the frame you want, press the menu set button on the back of the camera or the little icon on the left here, and you are asked if you want to save the image. Hit yes, and your chosen image is written to the SD card. Neat, huh? And here are our stills. A couple more things. You can set the video capture to loop record. This shoots 10 minutes of video in 5 2-minute chunks. When it gets to the 6th iteration, it deletes the first and so on. So, if you're trying for pictures of a bee landing on a particular flower, say, you can just leave the camera running until it happens, even if it is longer than the normal half hour, without running out of card space. Battery life would be the limitation in this case, of course. So, there it is. A handy addition to the GH4's imaging machine capabilities, and the sort of thing that suggests things to do with it once you know what it does. Thanks for watching.